An estimated 1.4 million Nigerians are said to be victims of human trafficking, with the majority being women and girls, according to the International Organization for Migration. Stakeholders say in order to curb this menace, the equality model has to be implemented, as laws of criminalizing people in prostitution have to be repealed and the demand for prostitution penalized, thereby holding accountable buyers, exploiters, and traffickers of prostitution. This was the center of discussion during the media briefing on sex trafficking and screening of Oloture, a film directed by Kenneth Gang, which exposes human trafficking in Nigeria. Correspondent Lois Abasambo has the details.
Organized by the Sisterhood Global Institute and Gloria Steinem Equality Fund to End Sex Trafficking, the premiere of the movie Oloture featured international activist leaders and ambassadors of embassies who spoke extensively on human trafficking and how to end it. Highlighting the role of gender inequality in human trafficking, Executive Director, Association Iroko Onlus, Esohe Agatise, said, prostitution is violence perpetrated against women, highlighting the need to change the narrative and recognize that the demand for sexual services is the origin of prostitution and sex trafficking, not the women who are trafficked as providers.
The basis of trafficking is in the deep sexual and gender inequality that exists. That is the basis of trafficking. It is part of what we call violence against women. We are talking about that inequality that sees women as disposable objects that can be bought and sold. Women are not asking to be the same as men because they are not. They are asking for the same kind of opportunities that men have, to go to school, to be considered as human beings.
Also speaking, Executive Director of Coalition Against Trafficking in Women, Taina Bien-Aim, highlighted how the movie Oloture exposes the brutal realities of human trafficking in Nigeria and worldwide.
Scene by scene, Oloture shows how sex trafficking and the exploitation of prostitution develops and how it all functions. These words and concepts materialize in real suffering hidden by statistics of which we have still very few. Thousands and thousands and thousands of victims, overwhelmingly women and girls, suffer at the hands of sex buyers, traffickers, and other exploiters, largely with impunity.
Ambassadors from different embassies spoke on ways to combat human trafficking in Nigeria and worldwide and called for the elimination of all forms of trafficking against women and girls.
Us who think that are free of this scourge shall not forget the victims. We must cooperate at international and local level to end with this hideous crime. Law enforcement and civil society are key. All these women and children, and girls mainly, those that appear in Oloture are counting on all of us.
We need to continue to actively work to hold those who commit and support these crimes accountable. While most nations have laws against human trafficking, and indeed there are several international conventions which set forth standards to combat trafficking in persons, it is the effective implementation of such laws that will help most in this fight. As Secretary Blinken has said, let us stand together and press for accountability from those who condone and support human trafficking, create conditions ripe for mass exploitation, and perpetuate this fundamental insult to human dignity.
Oloture tells the story of a young and naive Nigerian journalist who goes undercover to expose the dangerous and brutal underworld of human trafficking. Based in Lagos, it depicts how sex workers are recruited to be exploited overseas. Lois Abasambo, ASO Television News.